immigration reform, it seems like both parties should be incented to find common ground there because we need people coming into this country. We're an aging nation, so Republicans typically vote in the interest of business, and business is going to have a labor shortage. There's no doubt about it.
Right, but Don, that's actually the exact issue here is the members of Congress are not incented to pass immigration reform right now. And it's immigration, if you think about it, for them is a lot more profitable to keep on the ballot than to actually resolve. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, it's one of those issues that allows you to gin up votes as well as dollars for your reelection. So let me put it this way, if there was a constructive immigration reform right now to enhance the legal immigration system for the exact reason you mentioned that businesses need workers right now, and there's a huge skills gap in our country, a humane path to citizenship for people, the roughly 10 or 11 million people who are here in an undocumented fashion, as well as have smart ways to secure the border, which involves a lot of technology, among other things. That type of proposal would get a majority of Congress to support it right now if it were a secret ballot. So in the absence of that, there's way too much incentive to actually not pass the issue and keep that on the ballot. So this is an issue where there is an existing consensus that cannot be realized because of these broken political incentives. Republicans, take Marco Rubio, for example, who was part of bipartisan immigration reform until he was told by both his party bosses as well as his own grassroots that you're going to get primaried if you jump on this issue. And similarly, well, in a different way, I've seen an issue on the Democratic side where there are broad-based solutions here, but some Democrats want sort of all or nothing kind of approach. So, for example, the Dream Act, which ensures that these dreamers who are here for no fault of their own, they came to this country as little kids with their parents, who, by all intents and purposes, are Americans and are contributing to our country, including serving in our military and doing a number of great things, um, might not have access to in-state tuition benefits. They don't have the full status of being documented. So the DREAM Act is something that has wide bipartisan support, but will not also be put on the floor. And that's because there's some members of actually the Democratic Party who don't want to see only the DREAM Act pass without some of the other pieces as well. So again, this is an issue of incentives right now.
Is the primary incentive fundraising?
I'll point to three biggest incentive problems. And this is as someone who not only has been in the business of getting members of Congress, getting electeds together to pass stuff, but also someone who's been in the arena myself as a US Senate candidate. Three things: money, primaries, media. So, and you've already pointed to a couple of them. So the issue around money is multifaceted. Members of Congress spend often most of their time fundraising. They're not even doing their jobs right now. The second is, if you need to raise as much money as you need to get good committee assignments, which are essentially auctioned off right now to people who can pay the most. What's the easiest way to raise money? Either from corporate interests who have business in front of your committees, or from dialing up the divisiveness and getting small donors to contribute to the campaign. So a couple of issues around the money. Primaries, in a lot of states you have closed or semi-closed primaries. If you are running for the Democratic or Republican nomination in the vast majority of states in America, there's literally no incentive to be appealing to independents or Republicans or building a broad-based coalition. So in other words, the candidates who get on the ballot are designed to appeal to the activist base. Meanwhile, you have the exhausted majority out there often choosing between the lesser of two evils in the general election. A couple notable exceptions to this: the state of Alaska right now has one of the best electoral reforms on the books right now. It's called Final Four voting, where they've done away with party primaries. And as a result, you have a nonpartisan primary, top four move on to the general election, and then you have a ranked choice voting general. In a nutshell, that's why the US Senator Republican Lisa Murkowski could vote to convict Donald Trump during the whole impeachment thing, have her approval rating drop to 9% within the Republican Party, but still have a broad base of support in Alaska and get reelected. That's the power of primary reform. And the third one is media. I think that there are a couple problems here. One, obviously, is that we have the polarized media. People are living in their own echo chambers, and the easiest way to get attention or get retweets or clicks is by hating the other side and not actually doing anything yourself. And so there are some solutions we should be looking at there. One is reinstating some form of a modern fairness doctrine that would apply to broadcast outlets and provide a bit more balanced reporting. There's a whole issue around funding in-depth journalism. Right now, it's like closest. One way of putting it is reporters have an incentive to put out shoddy, superficial journalism as opposed to in-depth issues-based reporting. And I think there needs to be a business model and funding around that. Local media, we have these media deserts right now, so people are just not getting information. And then I also think another key solution here is with social media, which is like pouring gasoline on this fire. Um, Algorithms. I do think that we need to regulate social media algorithms, because this is like smoking cigarettes, addictive nature that social media companies are preying upon and profiting on. And I think that if we make these algorithms less predatory, we'll have a more, when you tune into social media, you'll get a fuller picture of what's going on.